heaven help whoever comes in to date her next, because they better be good. They better be solid. Because no more of those shenanigans.
So congratulations on the podcast. So exciting. Why was now the perfect time to launch Earth to Ariana?
Well, it's been something that I've been working on for a long time now. I was inspired during our book tour for Fancy AF Cocktails, and then during the pandemic, just this need, this desire to connect with people that I know personally, people that I'm a huge fan of that I don't know personally, and then people who might consider themselves a fan maybe of me, who getting to meet those people out on my book tour, I was just like, I'm fascinated by everyone. I don't know why there's like this divide between, maybe me and them. Like it just shouldn't be that way. So I just, I just fall in love with people when I meet them. And so I want to talk to everyone.
I love that. And I love that this is like a comfy, laid back atmosphere too. You encourage everybody, throw on some pajamas, we're going to have a drink and we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Do you feel like when people are more comfortable and like in their own element, they're more likely to open up about themselves and you're going to get those hard to talk about conversations?
Yeah. I mean, I think whenever we all feel safe, we feel comfortable talking about how we really feel. And, as I am a Cancer, so I do kind of have this like, hard outer shell sometimes, but I'm like very soft inside and very sensitive. And when I feel comfortable with people, that's when I feel like I can truly be myself. And I want everyone to feel comfortable with me talking on the podcast as well.
Yeah. So what kind of topics are you going to be talking about with people? I know you launched a few episodes already, but what are those tough questions that you are hoping to ask? And what are those conversations that you want to have?
Well, it depends on the person for sure. It depends on who that person is and, what necessarily like maybe the field that they're in. Like, for example, my friend Olivia, who was on our most recent episode, she is like the queen of all things cannabis. And I'm always so fascinated by how she has started her business really from the ground up and what it's like being a woman in a very male dominated field. I also find that I want to know what people are fans of, because a lot of times we are all, even someone like, let's say someone I really admire, someone like Lizzo, I know that she has like those secret at home things that she fans out, nerds out over. And I always find that so interesting. And so I always kind of want to know that about everybody, because I think that that's something that connects us all.
Yeah. What are some of those things about you that you kind of nerd out about at home?
Well, I'm like obsessed with pimple patches. And that's gross, but I like gross stuff like that. Like I love like a pimple patch that really kind of like brings things to the surface. And I'm also a fan of, I was in high school, graduated high school in 2003. So I find that I, and a lot of other people my age are fans of, kind of these long forgotten, boy bands or pop artists or TV shows that now when you look back on it, you're like, oh my God, like really? Like, for example, I'm a huge Hanson fan, and still to this day, like I refuse to feel ashamed about being a Hanson fan. So I just find that we all have those things.
Oh, totally. I'm going to see the Backstreet Boys this summer, so I totally understand. I totally get it.
I want to go so bad. I'm like so
I love it. I love it. What besides the guests that you have already had on the podcast, who are you going to be sitting down and talking to? Who can you kind of tease? And who are those dream guests that you want to have on?
So I, of course, was dying to have Danny Pellegrino on. He will be a future guest. I am also at some point talking to one of I won't even tell her name now, but I'm obsessed with her. She's somebody who got really big on Tumblr and is now a mental health advocate. And she is just fascinating to me. She's a lot younger than me. So I'm always like, wow, how do you have it together? I'm 37 and I am nowhere near having it together. And it is truly a dream of mine to have Lizzo on. It's a dream to have someone like Kristen Chenoweth on. And you'll definitely be getting to know me a lot better as well, because there's definitely going to be a lot of just me wanting to connect with people. And I really hope also to get some fans on because they have amazing stories and I want them to not be shy. I mean, I'll keep them anonymous if they want to, but I don't want them to be shy because it's like, I think they're just as interesting as anyone else.
Oh, of course. People have so many interesting stories, so many different walks of lives too. And, we've been so invested in your story for so many years, but like you said, we're going to be learning some new things about you on this podcast. Is there anything that you're vulnerable or anything that you're a little hesitant about opening up about, or is it kind of like everything on the table?
I feel as though I'm pushing myself to put everything on the table because there's definitely things that even now, being at the big age that I am, that I think I have internalized shame over talking about. And I think a lot of people do when it comes to struggles with mental health or, body image issues, eating disorders, stuff like that. And then, especially with everything that's going on right now with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, there's a lot of personal stories that I think that we've all been accustomed to feel ashamed talking about. And I get very scared to be vulnerable, but I'm pushing myself to break out of that and get out of my comfort zone because that's how I want other people to feel comfortable talking to me as well.
Definitely. Yeah. I know that you've been very vocal on social media about Roe v. Wade and overturning that. And I mean, what was your and Tom's initial reaction when you first heard the news? Because I know for me, I was in shock and just can't believe we just set our time back 50 years.
I know. Well, it's almost like I felt like I shouldn't be shocked because of but I still was shocked that it actually was real. Mm-hmm. And it was my birthday. So it really put a dark shadow over that day and still, thinking about it, even talking about it now, it's hard. And I have a lot of faith in us as a society and as women that we will fight really hard against it and that we will not allow them to have that power to take that away.
I know since season 9 wrapped, there has been a lot happening off camera. Have you guys started filming yet? Where are we in the process of everything?
We have not started filming yet, but it is to come soon.
Yeah. A lot has happened.
So
a lot has happened. And I know Schwartz and Sandy's is about to open relatively soon, right?
Yeah, soon. I mean, I don't have an exact date to give you, but it will be very soon.
Yeah. How is Tom been handling the pressure of opening up yet another place?
I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's very stressful. And with everything, going on in Schwartz's personal life and just I can't imagine being in their shoes. It's a lot of pressure. And, there's a lot of us also who not only want to go and support, but I think that it's something that they feel pressure too from the outside as well, because I know some people think oh, it's taking so long and it's all this. And it's well, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't get to see. And it's been stressful for sure.
I'm sure it has. How is Schwartz doing? I know because, Katie said that, following the split that he was, pretty sad, but how is he doing right now?
I feel like it's ups and downs. Sometimes when I see him, he seems really great and his normal self. And then of course, I'm sure he has some down times as well. I mean, it's a big change. So I can't imagine what either of them are going through in terms of, they've been together for 12 or 13 years. And they built a life together. So in some ways it's exciting because it's a new era, but in other ways, I'm sure it's difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Were you surprised when the split came, or did you see, cracks in the foundation, a few months back?
I mean, I was shocked. Every relationship has its ups and downs. I mean, Tom and we argue over stupid stuff all the time. You know what I mean? And so I feel like it's so normal to see, you know, what I wouldn't call it cracks, but it's like every relationship has its goods and its bads. You know, it's not easy being in a long-term relationship with someone, but I never imagined that they would end it. You know, right. I really didn't.
Is it hard not having him as a neighbor anymore?
He's still nearby.
He's still nearby. Okay. Right. He's actually nearby. In the room next door.
He might even be closer now than he was, I think.
Right. Yeah. So he can still ride his bike over?
I think he can. Yeah.
How is, you know, I think Raquel said in an interview that she felt like she needed to pick sides. Do you feel like that at all? Has that ever?
No. And neither one of them have said something along those lines. I think that if people feel that way, it's, you know, pressure that we put on ourselves to try and be doing the right thing for everybody. And but neither one of them has ever like said like, you have to be on my side or anything like that. I think it's honestly the most amicable breakup I've ever been on the sidelines for.
I know they seem. I mean, I think that she sent him an air fryer as a new.
Yes, I saw that.
So I'm like, that's really nice. Yeah. You know, do you think that they're going to start dating again, or is that even on the horizon for the two of them?
I mean, I think that it's only natural that eventually that would happen, but I know Schwartz is super focused on opening the bar. I don't think he has time to even think about that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Kody is focused on her podcast and our sandwich shop and just kind of getting settled in a new life. So I think eventually that's something that, you know, makes sense that they would do, but that'll be very weird.
Yeah, it'll be so weird. How is the sandwich shop going?
It's good. You know, we are working on getting funding right now. It's our first time doing anything like this at all. So hopefully people will allow us a bit of grace to navigate the waters because this is our first time.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah. Do you ever feel that Schwartz took Tom's side too much over Kody's?
I mean, I think, well, Schwartz is very much a Libra. And I think that, I hate to say, I mean, just like through and through in his personality, no matter what time of year he's born, he's definitely like the scales person. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I think that and oftentimes it's not just Tom with Kody. It's kind of every situation. He always tries to look at the other side, which can be a really great quality to have. But when your significant other is really asking for you to, you know, see where they're coming from and really have empathy for them and be there for them, and you're not doing that, it's like, that hurts. And I think it chips away at the connection that they had.
Definitely. How is James doing? I know he's in a new relationship as well. Do you guys get to spend a lot of time together when cameras aren't rolling?
Yeah. I mean, we were at the MTV Movie and TV Awards together, which was super fun. I think that, I mean, it's a very different scenario. I mean, and his new girlfriend is lovely. She's very sweet, and I have enjoyed our conversations. But it's going to be it's just going to be very interesting just to see where everybody is. We haven't all really been in one room together in a while. There's been like combinations here and there, and you know, someone has a birthday or something like that, but it's definitely going to be a change.
Yeah. No.
I'm kind of, you know, I might have popcorn. I don't know.
Seriously. Well, it's so true because I think, I mean, you and Tom are the only relationship really that's still intact from last season.
Right?
It's crazy.
Like, I don't know.
It is. Yeah. And I know that you and Lala had some ups and downs last season. I mean, where do the two of you stand in your friendship today?
Lala and I are in a really great place right now, and I hope it continues that way. I hope we get closer to each other, and I hope that our friendship continues to grow. I think that, you know, sometimes we would hear one of us would say something that we would hear about like through the grapevine, at least for me. And we would both do this, like instead of just hitting each other up immediately to talk about it, it festers and it creates like a worse issue. And then when we see each other, it's like tensions are really high. So I'm very excited for where our friendship is headed.
Good. And is she in a good headspace? Obviously, everything that went down with Randall was, surprising to a lot of people, including her. I mean, is she in a much better place now that we're a few months out from that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, Lala is the kind of person I think who will always land on her 2 feet. And she has a really great support system. Her mom and her brother are really amazing, and they're there for her and Ocean. And I just think that, she's grown a lot from that situation. And I really think that, heaven help whoever comes in to date her next, because they better be good. They better be solid. No more of those shenanigans.
No, definitely not.
Hell no.
And how are things with Drinks from Home going?
Great. We have our 2nd and 3rd boxes in the works. We also have a new, very unique product that I don't see anything else like on the market, which I'm very excited about. Some partnerships that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to show everybody. And people better get the first box is going fast. So, and once that's gone, it's not coming back.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's on to the next.
That's great. And you have so many things going on with the podcast, your book, Vanderpump, DFH. What does it mean to you to be a female entrepreneur?
It's awesome. And it's also terrifying. And it's also really hard sometimes. And I feel like a constant state of being mentally overwhelmed, but it's like one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. And I just truly believe that hard work pays off, and you just keep going when it gets hard. And I believe in the stuff that I'm working on, and I have the most amazing people that I work with. Like if I didn't have those people on my teams, I would just be crying in a ball in a corner and trying to figure out how to do everything. So it's hard out there, but it's definitely something that I believe in, and that's worth it. And there's so many examples of like incredible women entrepreneurs ahead of me that I just try to follow in their footsteps. And if I can even just be like a fraction of what they are, then I will be good.
I love that. I mean, so honest. I mean, it's terrifying. It's a lot of work. And like, you're also balancing, filming and a relationship. How do you and Tom make time for each other and make sure you have those quiet little moments together and not, get wrapped up in all the noise?
It's hard. I'm not going to lie. My love language is quality time. Mm-hmm. And so when both of us are so crazy busy working on stuff, quality time is the hardest thing to have or to create. Mm-hmm. So, even this morning, he makes me a coffee in the morning, and he had a few minutes before he had to leave. And we kind of like chatted in bed and like talked about our dogs and stuff like that. And we were talking about like old 2001 like magazines and just random stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like in the moment, I just felt like, oh, this is exactly what I needed, because we do struggle to have those things. The work-life balance is something that I know we all talk about it, but it can be really tough to achieve. And people who are in the same position as us and have kids, I admire them so much. Like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, but we're getting it done. We do it.
We're getting it done.
We're getting it done.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly Magazine.